Hello, everyone out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Babygirl. That's right, Babygirl from last year, starring Nicole Kidman and Antonio Banderas. Sorry, Banderas. Okay, and who else is in this piece of crap movie? There's this guy named Harris Dickinson, who you've probably never heard of. Okay, he's some young stud. They're trying to make him out to be the next Robert Pattinson. Okay, he plays, he was in The Iron Claw, which is a movie I loved. It was a wrestling movie that came out last year. Okay, and he played Prince Philip in the Maleficent movie. Not the first Maleficent movie, the sequel Maleficent movie, the one that nobody went to go see. Okay, he played Prince Philip in that piece of crap. I'm guessing it's a piece of crap. I didn't see it because nobody else saw it. So like if the target audience, if the demographic that they make that movie for didn't even go see it, then why the hell would I? And I'm not in the demographic. Okay, so yeah, Harris Dickinson, what a name, huh? Harris Dickinson, get it? There's a lot of that in the movie too. Harris Dickinson, his name is Samuel in this movie. And then we got some minor characters here. We got this black girl named Sophie Wilde. She plays a woman named Esme Smith, okay, who's like the secretary / assistant to Nicole Kidman's character named Romy Mathis, okay. And then her two kids. She got a teenage daughter, and then she's got like a preteen daughter. Okay, they're both lesbians. All right, the older one's named Isabel, and the younger one's named Nora. You want to know why Hollywood's failing? It's because of crap like this, all right? Excuse me, the woman that made this movie, her name is Helena Rain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. She's Dutch. Okay, so yeah, she's Eurotrash, rich, privileged Eurotrash, trying to get into Hollywood. A failed actress, okay? She looks like crap, so she couldn't get any like leading lady roles. Okay, so she hates men. That's obvious. She was on a TV show called Charlie, which is the Dutch version of an American show called Nurse Jackie with Edie Falco from Sopranos. Okay, well she was the main character in the Dutch version. Of course, that show flopped. Nobody watched that. Even in the Netherlands, nobody watched it. Even in Amsterdam, they didn't watch it. All right, so yeah, so there's that. She directed a movie 3 years ago called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It was just a woke cast with a very small budget. Okay, how small? Pete Davidson is one of the 8 ensemble characters. Okay, one of them was Pete Davidson. So that's the quality of that movie. It's just woke garbage, woke garbage. Okay, nobody saw that movie. All right, and then this is our third movie. Okay, Babygirl. Okay, which made a little bit of a profit. Okay, the budget for this movie was about $20 million, and you got to think about the marketing. The marketing, probably I'd give it maybe 60 million. You know, because I did hear about this movie way before it came out. I remember seeing trailers on Facebook and stuff like that. You know, on YouTube there'd be trailers for it and stuff. So I know they did spend money trying to get it out there. There were movie posters printed and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm guessing maybe $40-60 million on marketing, which is not very much. When you think of something like Superman, okay, that was like $120-150 million to market that movie, maybe even more. Okay, something like an Avengers movie, that's easily $180 million to market that. Okay, Fantastic Four, easily $150 million, maybe even more to market that, because there was all sorts of like giveaways and stuff they were doing with that too. Okay, so yeah, easily. Okay, so something with a $40 million marketing budget is a drop in the bucket compared to what Hollywood spends. All right, and just think of that, the $20 million that they spent to make the movie, not counting the marketing, how much of that went to Nicole Kidman? Okay, hey, I'm sure a portion of it did. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and it made almost $65 million at the box office. So I'm guessing it probably made a profit. Yeah, probably made about $5 million in profit to the investors. You know, so there's that. Who knows how many people spent $30 to buy it on streaming when it came out? Who knows? Nobody bought it on DVD Blu-ray because that doesn't really exist anymore. So yeah, that was it. That was it for this. Okay. Now, obviously, this is a very has a target demographic audience that it reaches, a bunch of horny, over the hill, 40, 50, 60-year-old women that wish they were still hot, that think they're hot, okay, or wish they were hot, or just want to live in a world that supports their insanity. Okay, this is fantasy for them. This is 50 Shades of Grey for grandmas. Okay, you're still attractive. You're still a boss bitch. You are a boss bitch. You're attractive. You can get any man. Even a young, well-hung stud with an 8-pack and a square jaw. Right? Right? Yeah. Okay, see what I mean? This is the bullshit. This is the crap that feminists hated men for. You know, you kept seeing all these damn movies where some guy was in his 40s or something, and all of a sudden these hot young women would hit on him and stuff, you know, and that would piss off the women in their 40s because they're not hot and young anymore. Okay, they got stretch marks now and saggy tits and shit, you know. And the plastic surgery industry wasn't nearly as big in the 80s and 90s as it is today. Okay, it was a lot more expensive back then. Okay, and more dangerous. Okay, so you know, women weren't shooting their face up full of Botox and stuff and plastic, okay, to try to look young. In fact, all they really do is it makes those look like, you know, like they're full of Botox. They don't look younger, okay? They look like, you know, monsters, okay? And it really sucks. It really sucks. Nicole Kidman is clearly an example of this. I mean, even in the movie, her character gets Botox, okay? So it's not like she's trying to hide it, okay? It's pretty obvious. You look at her face. She doesn't emote like a normal human being anymore, okay? Look at her like in Moulin Rouge, or look at her in, say, like Days of Thunder, okay? Look at her in that kind of stuff, or even To Die For. Okay, her face emoted. Okay, she had facial expressions, not like Jim Carrey wise. Okay, but she had facial expressions. You could see. Okay, but now all that is puffed out. Okay, in order to get rid of the wrinkles, they basically paralyzed her face, her cheekbones. Okay, so she doesn't look like she's having legitimate. She has to over exaggerate her expressions just to look like she has average emotional expressions. Okay, and the fact that nobody like people don't want to admit that. When they cast the movie, when they're promoting her, when she's being interviewed, nobody wants to ask her that. You know, I mean, come on, it's right there. Okay, it's right freaking there. Okay, everybody sees. Just because nobody talks about it does not mean, or nobody's allowed to talk about it, does not mean it's not there. It's right there. Okay, she has aged out. Okay, she needs to be playing older women. She needs to be playing grandmas. Okay. She don't need to be playing these fucking women, okay, with teenage fucking kids. Are you out of your freaking mind? The woman's 57 years old. Her kids should be in their 20s, okay, or their 30s, okay? not 16 and 12. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the hell? You didn't start having kids till you were 41? I mean, what the hell is this shit? This is ridiculous. Anyway. So, yeah. Okay, it's pretty obvious what it's here for. Okay, this movie promotes itself as a feminist movie. It's an erotic thriller for women. That women can get their orgasms. That women can get high value men. They can come. It's okay. Just because you're 60 does not mean you can't have an orgasm with a man anymore. You can still fuck some young stud, big dick stud who's going to take care of you sexually in every which way because that's what you deserve. And then, you know, of course, you know, come home to your husband and all that kind of shit. You know, the guy who pays the bills and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You have to give him a mercy fuck if you, every 2 months if you have to. Okay. But no, you get your rocks off from another guy. Okay. That's the right way to do it. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. You want to know why men aren't getting married? Okay. Okay, this is all fantasy shit, okay? Yes, there are boss bitches in real life, but the majority of women out there are not boss bitches, okay? And although I do concede it is easier for women, an average looking woman, it is easier for a woman to get laid than it is for a man. It is, okay? I admit that, I concede to that. Most guys know this already, which is why so many women fucking do all their fucking in their 20s and 30s. And then they settle down, and then they keep fucking, but, you know, they just do it behind their husband's back. Or they get divorced and, you know, marry the guy that they were cheating on their husband with, and that guy leaves them, or they divorce them. But now you've got all these fucking kids from different guys, from different baby daddies, and you're still hunting for husband number 3. Not to love you, okay? Or not even to get you off, but just to support you, okay? Support you and your kids that you had with other guys, okay? You know, call that love. All right, and you'll probably find some simp, with money who's lame in bed and unattractive and all that stuff, but he's willing to fucking pay the bills. He's willing to support you and those kids, okay? So you'll marry him, okay? You'll call it love at first. You'll try to look for good things about him. But eventually, after a few months or so, once the honeymoon's over, okay, then you're going to be like, oh, God, dude, what the hell did I do? And you're going to be resentful, okay? You're not going to blame yourself for your bad choices. You're going to blame him, okay? And you're going to start disrespecting him, treating him like shit. And if he's like simp like he is, he's got no backbone, he'll let you do it. Just like fucking Antonio Banderas' character here is, which really sucks. I mean, to me, he's fucking Zorro. Okay, he's fucking Zorro. He's the Latin lover. To see him reduced to a fucking middle-aged, oblivious, dumbass cuck, okay, it's pretty fucking sad. It's sad that this is the career arc of, that he's had. Okay, I mean, I remember in the 90s, Madonna wanted to fuck him so bad, and he didn't. He would not cheat on his wife for Madonna. Okay? Madonna tried to fuck him real bad. I mean, she was even giving interviews about how she wants to fuck him to magazines. Okay? And he refused because she started with him in Evita. Okay? He would not cheat on his wife for Madonna, but he would cheat on his wife for Melanie Griffith, and he did. And I mean, he raised Dakota Johnson himself pretty much. Okay, not Don Johnson, fucking Miami Vice guy didn't do it. Okay, and then he dumped Melanie Griffith for another one, a younger woman. I think that's the woman he's with today. So so I'm not saying in real life he's played the field, but but it's all about your image. What do you represent to the average audience? Okay, if your image sucks, nobody's gonna watch your movies. Look at Will Smith; his image went to shit. I'm pretty sure the movies he's done since he slapped Chris Rock are pretty good. Maybe they are. I've seen him do some great acting in movies before. Okay, but it doesn't fucking matter. Nobody wants to go see it. Nobody's gonna go see it. You know why? Because his image sucks. Okay, people look at him. He's a cuck. He's a bully. He's a narcissist. Okay, and he's a simp. He lets women walk all over him. Look at that fucking video he made. Okay, I like pretty girls. Like, what the fuck was that, dude? That's a gay guy trying to convince you that he's not gay. All right, so no. He's lost his respect, okay? He's lost his image, okay? And I'm afraid that's what's happened with Antonio Banderas, okay? He's losing his image. And the fucker's Puss in Boots, for Christ's sake. Okay, my kid loves that movie. I love that movie. You watch this cat, acting like Zorro. It's hilarious, okay? I got a little kid, okay? So, of course, I went to the theater to go see it, all right? Okay? So, yeah, I mean, it's hilarious, the voice and everything, And he's done action movies. He was in The Expendables with Stallone. I mean, he's done Assassins. I remember him in Interview with the Vampire. I remember him when all he did was gay roles. We played gay guys, okay? Like in Philadelphia, he played a gay guy. He played Tom Hanks's gay boyfriend that gave him AIDS, okay? Or an Interview with a Vampire from the early 90s where he played Armand. Okay, the guy, the vampire guy who was like fucking Lestat and Brad Pitt's character. Lestat was Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt's character Louis. Okay, remember that, the gay vampires. Yes, okay, I remember him. He came over to America as this Latin heartthrob. He was in Mambo Kings. Okay. With Armand Asante. I mean, this guy has done a lot. Okay, he came out as the Latin lover into America, and his career did pretty well. Okay, I even remember a movie he did, I think it was like 10 or 12 years ago, where he was teaching underprivileged high school kids, in a big city, like how to ballroom dance and stuff, or salsa, whatever the hell it was. I remember seeing that on a date. So I had a lot of respect for him, and to me, he's Zorro. I loved him. I loved him as what's his name? As Murrieta. Okay, what was that? Not Joaquin Murrieta. It was the other one. It was Alejandro Murrieta, okay? In the Zorro movies, okay, with Anthony Hopkins. I mean, I love those movies. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I loved those movies. Okay? And to see him fall like this into just another fucking guy whose wife is getting filled out right behind him, and he can't even turn around and notice it. It's just ridiculous. It's just like, that sucks. Okay, I mentioned that in the last video, how this is like the career point for every actor, every leading man. This eventually happens. If they keep acting, eventually it's going to happen to them. Look at Sean Connery. Okay, James Bond himself got cucked in First Night. Richard Gere was fucking his wife in First Night. Okay, and then look at Richard Gere himself. Okay, the cucker becomes the cucky, and unfaithful. His wife Diane Lane is cucking him. Okay, so I mean, it just keeps going this way. And I guess that's just what happens, you know. Anyway, so moving right along, yeah, it sucks what happened to Antonio Banderas. And Nicole Kidman, of course, is Romy Mathis, the boss bitch, you know, trying to act like she's young. Okay, she's not young. Okay, she's acting like a boss bitch. She's trying to. I get all that. I know there's women like that in real life. I mean, look at Elizabeth Holmes. Yes, I know she's in jail right now, but she started her own company, you know, $1 billion company and stuff. And you know, of course she lied to all her investors, and that's why she's in jail right now. But she was like this. She was like Nicole Kidman here. Okay, you know, she's out of fucking out of Silicon Valley, you know. Anyway, so yes, that's what's going on here. Okay, this is just a fiction for women. Okay, in order to who want to fantasize about fucking over their husbands in order to get better orgasms. You know, it's the romance novel. It's that kind of crap. Okay, and just like a romance novel, there are no consequences for the women. This isn't going to cause her. I have not honestly, I've not finished watching the movie. I'm only halfway done with it. But right now, I can tell you, okay, I can predict the end because I've seen enough of these chick flicks to know she will receive no consequences for her actions. Okay, nothing's going to happen to her. Okay, for what she's done, whatever supposed consequences she's going to face are going to get resolved really quickly. She's not going to lose anything. Okay, she's not going to like go to jail or no one's going to leave her. Her kids aren't going to disrespect her. They're not going to like say, "Why'd you do that to Dad?" Okay, none of that shit's going to happen. Okay, she will face no consequences for her actions at all. In fact, she will justify her actions. Well, if you had given me orgasms, then I wouldn't have had to go outside of the marriage. That kind of thing. She'll blame it on her husband, which most of these movies do. Okay, whenever they show a woman cheating on her husband, it's always the husband's fault. Okay, he can't get her off or whatever, you know, and therefore she had no choice but to go outside of her marriage to get her needs met, because they weren't getting met at home. But when a man does the exact same thing, you know, when his wife, you know, has put on 30 pounds since they got married, okay, and most of it's fucking cellulite, and she won't even give him a fucking blowjob in 2 years, he goes outside of his fucking marriage. Now he's a piece of shit asshole, okay, who deserves to get divorce raped, okay, who deserves to lose custody of his kids. He's gonna lose the house. He's gonna lose fucking everything, okay, for being the piece of shit that he is, that all men are. You see what I mean? But when a woman does it, no, it's not. It's justified. Okay, all these movies do this stuff. Okay, you'll never see a movie in Hollywood, at least not right now, not the way Hollywood is right now. You'll never see a movie where a guy cheats on his wife and it's justified, and he's celebrated for it. Okay, and the woman that he cheats on his wife with is going to be younger and prettier and better in bed. Okay, and she's actually going to make him happy, like in a way that he hasn't felt in probably decades. Okay, he ain't gonna lose his kids. None of that shit's gonna happen. His sons are going to give him high fives, you know. But what about the wife? What's going to happen to the wife in the movie that got betrayed? Who gives a shit? If she was a real woman, she should have kept her man. You know, that's all that needs to be said about that, right? Okay, yeah, exactly. That you know, imagine a movie where that happens. It ain't gonna happen. Despite the fact that men have lots of fantasies about being with more attractive women. Okay, every man out there, just like you women out there, okay, every man out there fantasizes about ditching his wife for a younger, prettier girl. Okay, the girl that he saw at the gym, okay, that talked to him, okay, and was giving him fuck me eyes. Okay, then that looks a lot fucking better than his wife. Okay, and not only that, but she's a lot nicer than his wife. Okay, that kind of thing. All right, we all have fantasies about that. We don't necessarily act on them because we have a lot more to lose for cheating on our wives than women do. Okay, if you got married, there's only 17 states in the United States that do not have no-fault divorce, but most of the states do. Okay, so it doesn't matter who cheats. It doesn't matter who betrays who. Okay, you can get a divorce like that. Okay, and it's always automatically going to be that the wife's going to get everything. Okay, even if she's the one that screws around, even if she's the one that cheats, even if she's the one that fucking lied about the paternity of their kid. Okay, he's still got to pay child support on a kid that's not even his. Even if he's got the DNA test to prove it, he's still got to pay child support on a kid that's not his because she lied and told him that it was. And he trusted her. You see, the consequences are only for the men when it comes to divorce. Only the men have to face the consequences, the women don't. Okay, and that's why men are not getting married. That's why bridal shops are going out of business. That's why bridal magazines are losing all their subscribers. Okay, that's why it's a dying industry. Just like newspapers, okay? It's a dying industry. Okay, eventually it will be gone. Okay, like CrossFit, it's dying, it's dead. Okay, because men are not getting married. The men that are available, the high value men that are out there, the guys that are making all the money, that look good, okay, that, you know, the guys that vacation in Greece every year, okay, those guys, okay, they've got a lot of options. They've got lots of women that want to be with them. So why the fuck would he settle for one? Much less one that's fucking 57 years old. You see what I mean? When he can easily get a woman in her 20s. Okay, whenever you go on a dating app, look at that shit there. These women all demand that you have a passport. Okay, that's code for you're flying me to Greece. Okay, I ain't even going to consider dating you unless you're taking me somewhere outside of the United States for vacation. Okay, which means that you better have the fucking money to do that. All right, but all these women, even the ugly women, are all competing for that guy. Okay, because nobody has the heart to tell the ugly women that they're ugly. Nobody has the heart to tell the mid women that they're mid. You see what I mean? Okay, because all the women are going to tell them is how beautiful they are at any size. Okay, you see what I mean? This is a load of shit. Okay, and women in real life, not in the movies, but in real life, women are facing the consequences for this. Okay, they just don't make movies about it. They don't make movies about it. Okay, they don't. But you know it, and I know it. Okay, just like they don't make movies about the scenario I gave you about the guy that wants to leave his wife for a younger, hotter girl, he wants to start all over again. This woman makes him feel young, makes him feel like he did when he was in his late 20s, you know, and she's nice to him. Holy shit. And her friends like him too. So now he's got a new social circle and she likes more of the same things that he likes. His wife quit giving a shit about his interests a long time ago. You know what I mean? So, that kind of stuff. It happens, but you're not going to see a movie about that. Okay? You're not going to see a movie about that because it's sexist. But you will get movies like this over and over again. Well, good thing you've got me here, okay? Because I'm going to blow this bitch up. And I'm going to tell you the fucking truth from a straight man's point of view. I'm not some fucking gay guy who's going to tell you how flawless fucking Nicole Kidman's skin is or any of that bullshit. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth, okay? The bitch looks like a 57-year-old trying to look like a 45-year-old. That's what she looks like, okay? With all the fucking Botox. Okay, she was right up there with Cher and Madonna and Antonio Banderas' ex-wife, Melanie Griffith. Look at a picture of her right now. Okay, look at those monsters that those women, Janice Dickinson. Okay, I mean, look at some of these monsters. Even young, beautiful women like Megan Fox. Okay, from Transformers, not the YouTuber, from Transformers. Look what she did. She did that to her face in her early 30s. She hadn't even hit the wall yet and she already fucking fucked her face up. Okay? So, I mean, it's sad. It's sad. But you're not going to see movies about that. No. The closest thing you'll ever see to that is the movie Demi Moore made last year. Okay? I forgot the name of it. It was a body horror one. You know what I'm talking about, where she morphs into a younger version of herself, Andy McDowell's daughter plays the younger version of her. It's like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like, I can't remember the name of it. I watched that movie. I need to review that movie. I watched it. I enjoyed it. It was kind of gross. But, like something like that is the closest you're going to get. And that's strictly horror. Okay? And most women don't like horror. Not like that. Okay? It's too close to home. You see what I mean? Going to a doctor to give yourself injections and shit like that, in order to try to look younger, get more guys to give you more attention, that's not gonna, women don't want to see that movie. It's like a movie about a guy who's in his 50s dealing with with impotence. Okay, a guy like that's a little too. Why would anybody want to see a whole movie like that? Okay, watching women cheat on him over and over again, watching his wife cheat on him all the time because he can't get it up. Okay, why the fuck would a guy want to go see that? You see what I mean? A little too close to home. Same thing. Okay, same thing with why no woman wants to see a woman in her 50s, who lost her looks and hit the wall, try to get young again, and ended up destroying herself in the process. It's a little too close to home, okay? The movie's not going to go there, okay? But that was not a chick flick, okay? What the hell was the name of that movie? I forgot. Was it called Substance? I think it was called The Substance. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'll tell you in the next video, okay? But yeah, nobody wants to see that, okay? This movie is more fantasy. This is what women want to see, okay? A woman who's clearly hit the wall, who's no longer as attractive as she used to be, who can still pull high-value men and have it all. She still has the career. Hell, she owns the career. She's a billionaire. She's got the husband. She's got the kids. She's got the beautiful penthouse that she lives in. She's got the summer house out in the country. Everybody in that building respects her and knows who she is. Blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? Her clothes are on point. Okay? Her spa is like a Disney World for fucking adults. You know what I mean? You know, she's got everything. All right, of course. And now she's got an affair with a hot young guy. You see what I mean? This is just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Okay? Anyway, but she wouldn't believe it, you know, because it's justified. She wasn't getting her orgasm, so she's got to get them somewhere, right? But we're not allowed. We're not even allowed to watch porn. That pisses women off when we watch porn. That pisses us off. Yeah, that pisses women off, okay? Yeah, we're not allowed that, but you're allowed to do this. Okay, anyway, okay, so that's going on here. We meet her daughters at the breakfast table. Like I said, one of them, she looks like she's 16 years old, and her name is Isabel. That's Romy's daughter. And of course, I told you Banderas plays Jacob. That's her husband. Okay, and then the youngest daughter, what the hell is her name? I don't even remember now. Yeah, the youngest daughter. Okay, her name is Nora. Okay, so Isabel's the older daughter, and then Nora is the kid daughter. Okay, yes, they're both lesbians. Okay, and so we meet them at the dinner table. I mean, you know, the breakfast table, whatever, talking shit. Fucking Jacob's on the phone. He's a stage director. Okay, I guess he's like a Broadway director. He directs plays, or so he's talking to someone about a play he's working on. You know, it's just white noise in the background. Okay, apparently, Romy likes to walk to work. Okay, in New York City, and she's there, okay, and she sees a man attacked by a dog, okay, as she's walking into her building, in front of her building, and then all of a sudden some young good-looking man calls the dog over. He automatically recognizes the dog as being a female dog, get it, a bitch, get it, and he calms the dog down. Hey girl, and calms her down, and then gives the dog to the owner, and the owner grabs the leash and walks away with the dog. Now, Romy sees this happen. She notices the guy that did it, that calmed the dog over, okay? And this is the character, this is our introduction to Samuel. That's the guy that she will be fucking later on in this movie. All right, he's a young guy, he's in his 20s. In real life, Harris Dickinson is 27, but he's playing a 25-year-old here named Samuel. Okay, so she's kind of like flabbergasted, like how did he calm the dog down? Like she doesn't understand how that happened, all right? How did he tame the bitch? Get it? Get it? Yeah, it suddenly hits her right over the face, doesn't it, right? Okay, Romy rushes into work, okay, and starts filming a commercial for her tech company. Okay, it's probably an internal, like, video, you know, just for the employees to see. But she starts filming it, okay, for her tech company, okay? And then we see her, a close-up of her face, okay, as they're putting the makeup on. And, you know, she looks like shit, okay? She's got a fake smile. Like that, a fake smile, you know. And I'm sorry, like I said before, okay, no disrespect to Nicole Kidman, but you're not young and pretty anymore. You're not. I mean, you're still decent, you know, for your age. Okay, but you know, the days of you being high value are gone. You need to look at them with you know, you need to look at them with favor. Look at those days like and smile about it. Yes, I had that. I did that. That was me. That was me back then. Okay, and quit trying to go back there. Okay. Because it's pathetic. It's pathetic. You're screaming for attention. That's the reason you made this movie, you bitch. You're screaming for attention. You're screaming for men to want you again. You're screaming, more so I think you're screaming for women to want to be like you again. Like they were in the 90s. It ain't the 90s anymore. It's gone. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you should have enjoyed it while you had it. And quit trying to relive it over and over again. Okay? God damn. It's easy to have everybody love you and respect you, okay, when you're in a movie where everyone has to love and respect you. But in real life, not so much, okay? Nicole Kidman's had an incredible fucking career, better than most actresses. A lot better than most actresses, okay? I mean, she's been married to movie stars. She's married to Keith Urban, a famous country western singer, okay, who I think is closetly homosexual. But, okay, so she's accomplished a lot in her life, okay? She's done a lot, okay? She's got a legacy, okay? Quit ruining it with this fucking insecure trash, okay? Age gracefully, for Christ's sake. Why can't you women just fucking do that? Just age gracefully, okay? It sucks. You know why I get upset about this is because I've watched lots of women in my life, lots of role models, okay? Julia Roberts, Melanie Griffith, Famke Janssen, okay, all these women who were boss bitches in the movies and had lots of following, lots of female followers, okay, watching all their movies, wanting to be like them, okay, wanting to dress like them, to get their hairstyles like them, okay? Okay, and these are the women that were telling us, the young men, what we need to do to get a woman like them. Lecturing us, okay? Complaining about our insecurities, complaining about how we don't do anything right, how men need to step up, men need to do more, okay? Men need to be like this, okay? And men need to do that, men need to do that, okay? When they were young and pretty, that's what they were telling us, that shit. And now these women all look like goddamn fucking monsters with all the shit in their face. They look disgusting. Look at Madonna, for Christ's sake. They look disgusting. And these are the women who 20, 30 years ago were telling me what to do. How to get a high value woman what I need to do in order to get a high value woman like her. Okay? Okay, what today I would look at someone like Cher and just shit on her, honestly. Okay? Like you were the type of woman that I found intimidating 30 years ago. Okay, no, the truth is your ugliness on the inside finally caught up to your outside. That's the truth. Okay, rather than just get older like every human being does, you'd rather just try to hold it off without while acting like you're not. Okay, it's ridiculous. That's what this is. It's a vanity shit. It's just a fantasy for women. Okay. Anyway, so we meet the guy there. She goes inside her office there, and Romy meets a whole group of young interns. This guy Samuel is one of the young interns that just started there. Okay, they started that day. That's why Romy never noticed him before. Samuel immediately asked her an uncomfortable question, okay, about the possibility of her duplicitous statements in her speeches. Okay, so he's watched some of her company speeches, and the first thing he does is he's very bold and asks her an embarrassing question. Okay, I'm gonna give him perks for that because I'm the same way. I did the same thing in the Marines. I remember our commanding general showed up, okay, on my base. Okay, so here's like thousands of us Marines over here, like listening to this commanding general. Okay, he's like in charge of the whole fucking base. Okay, we're talking like 60,000 Marines. All right, and he's there giving a speech. And I was a private. I was either a private first class or a lance corporal. I think I was a private first class, low man on the totem pole. And he opened the floor to questions. And I remember I raised my hand and he picked me. The commanding general picked me. And I basically asked him, hey, I read in the Marine Corps magazine that they're considering getting rid of our MOS, which is our military occupational specialty. I was a tanker, okay? I was in tanks, okay? Yes, I blew things up, okay? And there was a rumor that the Marine Corps was going to phase them out, okay? Because the Army had enough tanks. They didn't need Marine Corps tankers, which meant that my job was now superfluous, was in danger of being of not existing anymore. Okay, and I asked him that question in front of everybody, and oh my God, the looks that everybody gave me. How could you fucking ask him that? And I was a nothing. I was a PFC. I was a private. And I asked the commanding general, hey, are you going to get rid of my job? Okay, because that's what we're hearing over here. Yeah. Anyway, but he answered the question. He said, no, he wasn't. I got my ass chewed. But how dare you ask a question like that to a fucking 4-star general, But I did, okay? Why? Because I was young and I was dumb. And that's what this guy's doing, okay? He's bold, okay? Young, dumb, and full of cum, all right? And so that's why he asked her an embarrassing question. She doesn't even answer the question. She's just like that, like she's waiting for a cock to go in that mouth. All right. Okay. She never answered the question. In fact, Esme, her secretary, the black girl, we meet her in the scene too. She rushes all the interns out of there and she apologizes to Roman. I'm sorry. I didn't know who's going to ask that question. What do you want me to do? You want me to get rid of him? She's like, no, it's okay. She decides not to. Okay. The question that he did ask her was, do you think automation can provide a path to sustainability, or is that just something people say to make you like robots? So apparently she found a way to automate simple daily tasks to make people save more time. Okay, basically robots. She's a tech company. Okay, she owns a tech company. All right, so is that really why you do it, to help other people, or do you just want people to like your robots? So they'll buy more robots from you. It's a bold question to ask. All right, and Romy is shocked and offended by the question. Okay, but she doesn't answer, and her assistant rushes them out. Okay. Next scene, while on the phone, she's on the phone there, like in the commissary area of her building. Okay. And she sees Samuel there. And while she's on her phone, she tells him to get her a cup of coffee. And so he does. He goes over there and grabs her a cup of coffee and brings it to her. And then she asked him the question she's been wanting to ask all day. Okay, how did you get that dog earlier today? How'd you get that dog to calm down? You know? And he says like, oh, I gave her a cookie. And she's like, oh, do you always carry cookies with you? And he's like, yeah, I do. Would you like one? And she's like, no. Like that, okay? Like the stuck-up bitch that she is. Okay? Actually, she doesn't say that. It's actually an awkward silence. They just look at each other like in silence for like 30 seconds. Okay? And then he tells her, you shouldn't drink coffee after lunch. Okay? How many of those did you drink? And she's like, none of your business. 7. And she's like, okay, why the fuck did you answer him? Okay? You see, if you're going to blow him off, but you answered him, which means that you are complacent to him. Okay? This is a test. Okay? Most of the time when men do this, it does not work. Okay? Unless you're like a male model or Brad Pitt or a fucking Elon Musk or some shit like that. Or maybe not Elon Musk. Okay? Because no woman that would like this movie would ever like Elon Musk. But real women do. Okay, like, so if you're a high value man, okay, you don't have to worry about acting this way because the women are gonna like you. Okay, Sam is high value. For whatever fucking, I think he looks average to me, but what the fuck? What the fuck do I know? Okay? Yeah, he's a good looking guy, but he's a dime a dozen. Okay, there's lots of guys that are good looking like him that are young, no fucking money, or not nearly as much money as she has. Okay? So to me, he's just interchangeable. There's nothing special about him. Okay? The reason he's high value to Romy is because he's young and he's good looking and he's smart. Okay? Well, what the fuck? You own a tech company. I'm sure you wouldn't hire an idiot to work for you. You kind of got to be smart to work for you. Okay? So that shouldn't come as a shock. Okay? And the fact that here you are, you've been married for how many decades now, and you're just now considering cheating on your husband? Like just this? No. This shit would happen when you were a lot younger than you are right now. Okay? So I don't buy that at all. Okay. The only exception to that rule would be like maybe if she has been cheating on her husband plenty of times during the marriage, and this is just gonna be the next one. That would be more believable to me. Okay. But then again, why would her husband stay with her if she has been fucking around him for 30 years? All right. Anyway, moving right along. The movie doesn't answer those questions. Okay. So that's going on here. Okay. She's shocked and offended by the question, but she doesn't answer. Okay. Whatever. Okay, and then she leaves. Awkward silence. Okay, boom. Next scene, in bed. She's in bed with her husband Jacob. Okay, and wants to fuck. Okay, Jacob, her husband, Antonio Bender, he wants to fuck her while they're in bed because she's busy on her phone. She's always on her phone rather than being with her husband. You see that a lot in this movie. When he's trying to talk to her, okay, she's always on her phone. She's emailing somebody, texting somebody, looking at fucking porn, whatever the fuck she's doing. She's not giving any attention to her husband. Okay, and this is before the affair starts. Okay, so she's always been this way. Okay, she's always been a piece of shit wife. All right, so she's on her phone. Okay, he wants to have sex, but she blows him off, and then all of a sudden she grabs one of her sheets from the bed and covers herself with it. Okay, like she's ashamed, like she's trying to hide her face when she asks him for something. Okay, she wants to watch porn. She tells him that she wants to watch porn while he fucks her, if he's okay with that. And he's like, what? You want to watch porn while I fuck you? You want to do that? Okay, I guess. He just wants to make her happy. He's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. It's kind of weird. How come women don't ever ask me if I can watch porn while I fuck them, I'd rather be, there's old porn out there. I'd rather be fucking watching Jenna Jameson when I'm fucking a girl, But yet women aren't cool with that. I wonder why, but yet she expects him to be cool with it. Go figure. Anyway, okay, so she decides to cover her face with a pillow, okay, and just have him like fuck her, okay? Play with her titties, finger her a little bit there, and then just go in while her face is covered with a pillow, okay? Good idea, okay? I would just go back to the old school, just put a paper bag over it. That way, he's not reminded that he's married to a 57-year-old who's trying to look like a 40-year-old, all right? That's what I do, the paper bag, okay? That's old school, all right? So that's a good idea to cover her face, but I would use the tried and true paper bag approach. Okay, thanks, Nicole. Thank you. Okay, I can keep my eyes open now. See, if you cover her face, then I don't have to close my eyes, so it makes sense. I can pretend I'm fucking the 30-year-old Nicole Kidman instead of the 57-year-old. Straight man's point of view. Is that what the video says? All right. So that's going on here. Jacob feels her up, okay, which is, why is she wearing lingerie if she wants to get fucked? Why she still got her clothes on? I mean, I know the real reason, but what in the story, what is the reason for her? So he starts feeling her up. He starts playing with her tiny little fake titties, okay. I mean, it's supposed to be sex, right? Why the fuck is she wearing her lingerie? Okay, so he sucks a little bit on her titties, and then I'm sure Keith Urban was there to watch the whole thing while they were filming it. He fingers her a little bit, whatever, He doesn't do it the right way. He does it like when you got to do it the G, right? Anyway, he can't bring himself to do it. Okay, he can't bring himself to fuck her while her face is covered and she's just laying there like a fucking corpse. Okay, he can't bring himself to do it because it makes him feel like a rapist. It makes him feel like a rapist. He does not want to feel like a rapist when he's fucking a girl. Well, do it. If she's fucking giving you permission, just fucking go to town, man. Fuck it. She's giving you permission. Just do whatever the fuck you want. Okay? Just do whatever the fuck you want. I wouldn't feel like a rapist. Not if she's giving me permission. The only thing I draw the line on is like when women ask me to choke them and stuff like that, I'll do it a little bit, but I ain't gonna like women have asked me to choke them like hard, like I'm choking someone for real. And I ain't gonna go there because I'm fucking strong, okay? I'm fucking strong. Okay, you can't tell because all you see is my shoulders and my face, all right? But I'm fucking strong. I'm a strong guy, all right? I'm a fucking strong man, okay? And if I were to really choke a woman, I could do some serious damage, and I don't want to do that, all right? So no. Okay, there's only a limit to how far I'm gonna go as far as like choking a woman, okay? And some women, it pisses them off that I don't choke that hard. Oh well, get over it. Find a guy that fucking does choke you that hard then, okay? Because I'm not gonna risk fucking hurting you for real, okay? And she's basically letting him do whatever he wants, so fucking just do it, man. Just do it, man. Go to fucking town. That's what I would do. Anyway, but he doesn't want to feel like a rapist, okay? She gets frustrated that he's not meeting her sexual needs. She wants him to feel like her. She wants him to act like a rapist. He's not doing it, so that pisses her off. She gets frustrated, so she just lets him fuck her the old school missionary. Oh, I just fucking man, just do it. Legs in the air, okay? Just fucking missionary, okay? The typical fucking fuck you sex, okay? Now she is acting like he's raping her, okay? She's pretending that he's fucking getting her off here, okay? And I know that a lot of you women have that fantasy, and I get it. Okay, I know damn well a lot of you women have that fantasy. Okay, but not every guy's cool with it. Okay, because we're raised. A lot of guys are raised by their single moms, or even just their moms. Their dad can be there too, but they see it on TV. They see the movies. Rapists are not something that society smiles upon. Okay, a rapist is not a good thing. We always hear women complaining about rapists out there, about how they got the traumatic experiences, the lifetime psychological damage that it did to them. Okay, you always see it on talk shows and stuff. Rapists are terrible people. The rapists are horrible. They belong in jail. They need to get their genitals cut off. They need to be chemically castrated. They need all that kind of stuff. You see it all the time. And you see women talk about how you look at the hatred in their eyes when they talk about a rapist or something like that, or if they've ever been raped. You see that, okay? Guys see that too, and we don't want to be associated with that. We don't want to be anywhere near that. We don't want a woman anywhere near thinking that when they're looking at us. You see what I mean? So we go out of our way to make sure that we don't come across that way. Okay? The problem with a lot of you bitches out there is that that's your fantasy and you expect us to go there, to go to a place that we've been conditioned since birth to never go. You see what I mean? You see the confusion here? Okay, this is where you got to talk to your fucking spouse. This is where you got to talk to your partner and tell them this is what turns me on. Are you okay with it? Because if my needs are going to get met, then you got to be okay with doing this. Like I mentioned in the other video, dude. I like blowjobs. I don't want to have to fucking ask for a goddamn blowjob. I want a woman to just fucking do it. Okay, if I got to ask her to do it, it breaks the fucking spell. It makes me feel like an asshole. If I got to ask a woman to give me a blowjob, it makes me feel like a fucking asshole. So I don't want to ask her. I just want her to fucking do it. Okay, you see what I mean? Okay, so there's got to be communication. There's no communication here. Okay? So let's not all blame this all on fucking Jacob, okay? This is fucking Nicole Bitchman here. Her character. That's probably why she took the role. So she can emasculate her husband. Anyway, okay, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back to continue my review of Babygirl. I thank you very much for watching this long. I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.